Hello, dear students. Today we will study the Thunnen's model of agricultural location. It is also called as the agricultural land use model, which is given in the year of 1826. Okay, so let's get started to the topic without any delay. So first of all, let's get some introduction about the model. First of all, this is a agricultural. You have to keep this thing in your mind. This is a agricultural model. Okay, it means that the model is based on the economic activity of agriculture. Second thing is that it is also a land use model, means how the land should be used in terms of agricultural activities. Okay, this model is entirely about that thing, and this model is given in the year of 1826. So you can imagine, you should use your imagination power and the information that before 1850 there was no industrial revolution. So the only means of transportation used to be the bullock cart, the horse cart. Okay, and only after the 1950s, the fuel and all the energy sources also changes. But before 1850, the fuel source used to be firewood. Firewood used to be the fuel source. Okay, the invent of petrol, invent of diesel, everything came on later on, and the most popular used to be fuel used to be the firewoods. So keep these two things in your mind, that we are talking about a retro model, a very much pre-modernized environment, pre-modernized world. It is, you can say, this is before the industrial revolution. During the year of 1826, the geographer, the economist Thunnen, Johann Heinrich von Thunnen, given the model. Okay, so I hope this thing got clear to you. Let's go to the second information. So you have to also keep in your mind that German economist von Thunnen was a German economist. He was also an agrarian pioneer, and he was also a geographer. Okay, and this theory he has given on the basis of his personal experience of agriculture. Okay, he used to manage his estate. His agricultural estate. What is the meaning of agricultural estate? Means you can think it as of a agricultural farm. Okay, you can think it of as an agricultural farm. So he has a huge farm which was located in the Tello estate in the Mecklenburg state of Rostock district, northern Germany. So from which country the geographer belongs to? He belongs to the Germany. Okay, and his estate was the name of his estate was the Tello estate. Okay, why it is called as estate and what is the meaning of estate? You should go to the Google and check it. What is the meaning of estate? Okay, it is very interesting when you read word by word and you understand the meaning of a topic, the core meaning of the word, then you can really relate what the theory is, what the author are trying to say. So now let's move on to the next important point, that this is not a theoretical model only like other models. He is, he farmed this estate by himself. He used to manage this estate. Estate means agricultural farm. Okay, so hope this introduction is clear to you. You will get many important questions from this introduction itself. The question might ask, what is the name of the agricultural farm of von Thunnen? And there will be 4 options, and one option will be the Tello estate. You have to tick on that. They will ask, what is the name of the state? Mecklenburg. And the district was Rostock district, and where it is situated: northern Germany, southern Germany, eastern Germany, western Germany. It is in the northern Germany. So these are the important information. If you are preparing for UGC net examination, you might get this kind of questions in the paper. And then they will also ask you whether this model is based on a theory or practical experience. So this is based on a practical experience of our author or of our geographer or economist. His name was Johann Heinrich von Thunnen. Okay, and when did he give the information? When did he published the theory? In the year of 1826. Okay, the publication the findings published as their isolate state. Okay, the isolated state. I hope you understand this. This is the name of the book the theory was empirical, based on empirical data. For 40 years, he recorded meticulous real-world data on production yields, labor, and transportation cost. Then it came to the global reach, the theory, in the year of 1950 to 60. See, the theory was published in 1826 in Germany language. Okay, in Germany. The language was Germany, but in the year of 1950s and 60s, it translated to English by scholars like Grotwald in 1951 and Peter Hall in 1966, becoming the foundational theory of agricultural economics. Okay, so hope everything is clear here, and each and every thing written in the slide is very much important for the exam perspective. So now the introduction part is over. Now let's jump into the model. What is the model? What is the theory of the model? So first of all, let me give you a not theoretical. Let me give you a imaginary situation. Okay, so that this theory will be very much clear to you. You will never ever going to forget about the theory. Suppose you have these products to farm or to cultivate. All okay. One is milk, one is vegetable, one is meat, another is wood, another is wheat. You have 5 options to farm in your land. This is the first thing. Okay, you have to keep in mind. Then what? How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 options are there. You have to choose from one of these options that which thing you are going to farm in your own land. So, and look at this circle. This is the city center. This is the market. Okay, this is the market, and this is a radius of suppose 10 kilometer. Okay, each radius area comes under. Suppose this area, this ring is 10 kilometer. 20 kilometer away, this is 30 kilometer away, this is 40 kilometer away, this is 50 kilometer away, and this is 60 kilometer away. It means suppose inside this ring, wherever you are, your farm is located. Okay, suppose your farm is located here. It means it is 60 kilometer away from the market. Suppose your farm is located here. This is also 60 kilometer away from the market. And suppose your farm is located here. It means which ring it comes? It is the third ring. That means your farm is 40 kilometer away from the market. Hope you understand the rings. Okay, so just tell me, this is ring 1, this is ring 2, this is ring 3, this is ring 4, this is ring 5. There are 5 rings are there. Why I am saying it as rings? Because in this theory it is referred as concentric rings. That's why I am using the term rings. Okay, otherwise in a layman language, in day-to-day language, we do not say rings. Okay, so we just normally say area. Okay, so let's see. Now, the only means of transportation to transport your product to the market for selling is the horse cart. Okay, you can see, and it will take 200 rupees per day to transport, and for each circle you need 1 day to cross. Okay, because it is 10 kilometer of distance, and the bullock cart, the horse cart, takes 1 day to cross the 10 kilometer of distance. So suppose you are in ring 5, you will take 5 days to reach to the market. If you are in the ring 4, you will take 4 days to reach to the market. If you are in ring 3, you will take 3 days to reach to the market. Okay, likewise. So suppose you are in the ring 1 area, somewhere here is your farm, then it will take only 1 day to reach to the market. Okay, and you just tell me one thing. Suppose you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options to cultivate, and your land is situated in the ring 3. Okay, which of the product you are going to opt to do cultivate or farm here? So if you are able to use your imaginations, you can see one thing. Milk is a perishable good, perishable product. So suppose you are going to do dairy farming in the ring 5, and you will have to travel to the market for 5 days. Your milk will get spoiled in the route. So it is not advised for the persons who are in ring 5 to produce milk or do dairy farming. And also vegetables are also like perishable products. So all the perishable products should be in the ring 1 itself, so that within a day you will reach to the market. Okay, and also how you can see the price of per 100 kg. So suppose you can take 100 kg of product, or the cart, the owner, whoever he is, he prefers to take only 100 kilos of goods and products to by his cart. He will not take anything extra than 100 kgs. So you can take 100 kg of product, okay, to the distance, any distance, and it will cost you 200 per day. And to each day to cross 10 kilometer, it takes 1 day. So now let's see. So for ring 1, definitely you will opt for vegetable and milk. Okay, so it is then finalized. Then for the ring 2, which product are you going to choose to cultivate or to farm? Definitely it should be wood. As you can see, wood will give you only 1000 rupees per 100 kgs. Okay, so suppose you are thinking that I should, because wood is not perishable, I should farm it in the ring 5. I will farm it in the ring 5. Then what will happen? It will take you 5 days to reach to the market. Suppose you are taking 100 kgs of wood, okay, 100 kilograms of wood to the market, and then how many days it will take to you? It will take into 5 days. So 200 per day into 5, it will cost you around 1000 rupees. So after selling your product in the market, even if you sell your entire product, it will only, as here it is written, price per 100 kg, the market price is 1000 rupees. So you are not going to make any profit if you are, manufacturing, or if you are producing wood in the ring zone 5. So what you have to do, the distance to the this market, it should be very much less. So you must grow the woods if you are in ring 2. Okay, so if you are in ring 2, you should grow wood here. So first is for milk and vegetable, second is for firewood, and the wood can be used for the firewood, the fuel for the market, as I have already told you in the beginning, and then it is also used as lumber and also timber. Okay, for the manufacturing of furniture and construction of buildings and all these things. Now we have already settled for milk, vegetable and wood. Okay, let me clean the page. Now what is left here? This is market. Here we are going to do the veggies and milk, and here we are going to do the wood farming. Now left is the meat and the wheat, rye and oats. So for meat, as you can see, suppose these are called as the livestock. Okay, like the pig, the sheep, the cow, the goat, all these things, as they can travel by themselves to the market. Okay, you do not need a cart to travel, make them travel, because it is not like the era of the modern era like today. The horse or the cattle or the pig, they can travel to the market by themselves. So for that reason, you can just make them travel 3 rings, and then you can do a cart from here to here, whatever is your choice. So what should you do? You should do the farming of all this livestock farming in the ring 5. Okay, for ring 5 you will choose to do the livestock farming, and what is left then? Ring 4 is left. Okay, so in the ring 4, what you will produce? You will produce wheat, rye and oats. Okay, so wheat, rye and oats. What is rye? What is rye? Do you know what is rye? Rye is like wheat. Okay, the wheat, the breads, the like other things of the bakery are made up of rye. Okay, this is mostly popular in Europe, as wheat is popular in India. Like that, in that case. And oats are also used to feed the livestock, and also humans eat it. Okay, so that's why when I say wheat or oats, people think oat is a very costly material, and how they are going to feed it to the cattle. But in Europe, oats are fed to the livestock also, and also the humans eat, because it is rich in nutrition. Okay, so now we have established that the 5 rings, the first ring is for milk and vegetable, the second ring is for the wood, and the third ring is for the third ring we have not discussed it. Okay, the third ring is also for the wheat, rye and oats, and fourth ring is also for the wheat, rye and oats, and fifth ring is for the the livestock. Okay, so now you can see one thing. There are 2 rings we are going for, wheat and rye, but here the author, the von Thunnen, he says that in third ring you will do intensive agriculture, but in ring 4 you have a little relaxation. You can do a little relaxed farming, like extensive farming. Okay, because you do not, if the land rent is less. Another thing here you should keep in your mind, when the land is nearer to the market, the rate of the land is very much higher. Okay, land rent is very much higher, but when you move away from the market, then the land rate is less. So suppose your land is here, then you are definitely going to give a lot of rent to the land owner. or at least if you yourself is the owner, then you have to produce a lot of product, because you have to utilize your land, and then you will do intensive farming here without any fallow land, without keeping your land fallow for any year. You will use manure, you will use other things to regenerate the fertility of your soil, but you will do intensive farming without fallow in ring 3. Okay, keep this thing in mind. But in ring 4, you can keep the land fallow for 1 year or any time. But according to Thunnen, he suggested a 7-year rotation farming. For the 3 year, you are going to cultivate the cereals, and for year 4, 5, and 6, you will keep it for pasture. Okay, you will produce the pasture so that the land fertility will regenerate by itself, and year 7, you will keep the land fallow. Like that, it is called as a 7-year rotational plan, and it is also a rotational 3-year rotational for the ring 3, but without fallow. In 7, as in the ring 4, this year 7th year, you are going to keep your land fallow, you are not going to cultivate anything here. But for the ring 3, you cannot keep the land fallow for any year, but you will rotate the farming. Like 1 year you are going to produce rye, then 2nd year you are going to produce oats, and 3rd year you are going to produce wheat or pasture, and then again you are going to rotate to rye, oats, pasture, like that. Okay, as you know, pasture farming do not need a lot of intensive agriculture, so that what will happen, 1 year if there is pasture, the land will have a little relaxation but not fallow. But in the ring 4, you will keep the land fallow for 1 year in a rotation of 7 years. Okay, so hope the thing is very much clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can comment it in the comment section. Okay, and another thing you have to keep it in your mind is that the postulates. What are the postulates of Thunnen? He has given emphasis to the intensity of production. He said near to the market, the lands, they will have more intensive farming, and the lands which are far away from the market will do not follow intensive farming. They will do extensive farming, a relaxed mode of farming. This is postulate 1. And what is the postulate 2? The type of land use will vary with distance from the market. He said that the type of land use will vary from distance from market. He is saying that if you are in nearest place to the market, then you are going to produce something that will give you more returns, like the vegetables. As you can see, the vegetables are giving you a lot of returns. Okay, so what you are going to farm? You are going to farm vegetables here. You are going to farm, milk here, like that. Okay, so and one more confusion you might get, that meat is also giving us a huge amount of money. Then why should we do this livestock farming in the exterior area of the ring? C, for livestock you need a large area of place to keep the livestock. Suppose you have 50 kettles, how much area you will need to keep them? Just imagine. And they will grow, then the kettle will grow, and the sheep, the goats will grow, they will get mature, and then also you will have to keep one piece of land for the pasture, the feeders, the foders for the goats and all these kettles and livestock. So if you are going to farm it here near this ring, then imagine about the amount of land you will require and the cost of the land. Because it is nearer to the market, it will not be cost benefit to you. And as you know, the cattle and goats can travel by themselves to some places. Then you will need a cart or something to reach to the market, or you can also walk them to the market. Like that, the things can be done. Okay, so this is all about the model. And then see, there are some assumptions. Okay, now we have studied what should be farmed in the ring 1, ring 2, ring 3, ring 4, and ring 5. Let me recall it. For ring 1, the perishable products, the milk and the vegetables. These two things will be done in the ring 1. For the ring 2, we are going to, do this, the wood, because of the transportation cost. Then for ring 3 and ring 4, you are going to produce the cereals. Only difference in the ring 3 and ring 4 is that in ring 3, you are going to do the intensive farming, and ring 4, you are going to do the extensive, a relaxed form of farming. Okay, and ring 5, we are going to do the livestock. So it is clear now. Okay, so for this thing, as you can see that this become the model of Thunnen. Okay, But there are some of the assumptions are there. Assumptions means one Thunnen asks you to assume that this is a state or this is a place which is isolated from other area. There is wilderness in the outside of the place. What is the meaning of wilderness? The meaning of wilderness is, the forest, the mountains, or something natural thing that keeps the state, the area, not in well connected with outer area. And you have only one market in the center. You have only one market in the center. This is assumption number 1. This is assumption number 2. And what is the third assumption? You can just guess it. He is saying the fertility is equal over the entire region. The fertility, the plain, the area is plain everywhere. So he says this is first of all, this is a isolated state. This is assumption number 1. Okay, let me clear the page and write this again. First assumption is this place is a isolated state. Okay, the name of the book was also their Isolate State. Okay, isolated state means not connected to outer world. This place is covered with the wilderness, surrounded by wilderness. People do not prefer to go outside of this area. Second thing is that there is one market in the center. Okay, one market, one and only market where the farmers will go and sell their products. And the third option is everywhere is the fertility is same, the level of elevation is same, there is no slopes, there is no depressions in the land is not undulating, it is plain. Okay, so what is it is known as? Isotrophic. The place is isotropic. And the fourth assumption is that he says farmers are economic men and rational. Economic man and rational means, suppose a farmer is here and he wants to grow some flower garden here. So he will not grow flower garden, because what is the benefit of growing flower here? If he will try to sell his flower to the market, he will have to travel for 5 days. And if for 5 days he is traveling, the flower will get dried up in the way. So he will not grow the farm. But in real world, this is not what happens. Sometimes people grow flower. Sometimes people do not prefer just for economic benefit to farm something. They just keep things. They just grow things like that. Okay. But here he assumed that each and every farmer of the area is a economic man and rational man. Okay. This is assumption number 4. And 5 is mode of transportation. As you can see, the only means of transportation was the bullock, the horse cart, horse wagon, or the bullock cart. There was no river. Suppose there will be a river, what will happen? People will go by boat, and the fare, the transportation fare will change. But here he assumed that there is only one means of transportation, that is the horse wagon, and the transportation cost is equal everywhere. For 1 kilometer, everybody will charge only that much of money. Suppose 100 rupees is the fixed rate, and everybody will take 100 rupees for 1 kilometer. Okay, so this is his assumptions, and let's see what are the other 1-2 assumptions are there that is left. So this is so as you can see, we have now talked about the assumptions. We talked about the postulates.
This is
okay,
an updated
hope you remember the
diagram
postulate
of
he
concentric
said
rings when there are
was
other
the intensity of
influencing factors
production.
act upon, such as a river,
Let me clear the
small
page
town,
again.
accessibility to
The
information.
postulates were the intensity of production. The intensity will decrease from the market towards the outer side. Here you will see a more intensive type of farming. Here you will see a more not so intensive type of farming. Intensive type of farming means the input of labor, input of manure, fertilizer, and other capital investment will be very much more, and as a result the production will also be more. This is he referred as intensive farming. Okay, and also what he said in his postulate B, or postulate number 2, the type of land use will vary from the distance of market. He said that suppose you are here, you will use the land differently, and suppose you are in the ring 5, you will use the land differently. So as you distance from the market, what will happen? The type of land use will vary, and this also seen in a real world scenario also. In suppose you are in Delhi, you are in Mumbai, you are in any part of India, you are in Odisha, you are in any place, and you live near to the city, you will see the land, the buildings are very much congested. Here the construction is congested in the city. As you move away from the city, you can see the land use pattern differs. So this is, now today also it is very much applicable. Now let's see. Yeah, let's see the assumptions again. Let me read it for you. The isolated state. The entire model takes place in a completely self-contained world. There is only one central city which acts as the sole marketplace. The city is surrounded by an infinite expanse of agricultural land. There is no outside trade. The farmers only sell to this city. The city's inhabitants only buy from these local farmers. Okay, this is assumption 1. What is assumption 2? The isotropic plain, uniform landscape. The land surrounding the city is completely featureless and uniform. Perfect flatness. There is no mountains, hill, valley or barriers. Equal fertility. The soil quality and climate are identical everywhere. Every single square inch of land is just as fertile and productive as next. And no natural waterways. There are no river, lakes, oceans to provide cheaper water transportation. So this is assumption number 2. And the assumption number 3, uniform transportation costs. Because the land is completely flat, featureless plain, transport is uniform in all directions. There are no pre-existing roads, railways. Travel is done purely by horse-drawn wagon across the open ground. The transportation costs are directly proportional to the distance and weight. You have to keep this thing in mind. This is an important statement in the assumption. Directly proportional to the distance and weight. What is the meaning of directly proportional? If the distance increases by 2 times, by 2, the cost of transportation will also increase by 2. You have to keep this thing in mind. Going twice as far as costly as twice as much, no matter which direction you travel from the city. Fourth assumption is maximizing rational behavior. The economic man, von Thunnen, assumed that all farmers act with absolute economic rationality. Every farmer has perfect knowledge of market prices and transportation cost. Farmers are driven purely by a desire to maximize their profit. What is the desire of farmer? To maximize the profit. You have to keep this thing in your mind. Locational rent. Okay. What is the meaning of locational rent? The profit. They will automatically switch their crops to whatever product yields the highest profit for their specific distance from the city. As I have already explained this in the previous slide, the labor and production costs are constant. This is assumption number 5. The cost of hiring laborers, buying tools, purchasing seeds is exactly the same everywhere. The only cost variable that changes when a farmer chooses a location is distance to the market. This is the only variable that changes. Summary of why he assumed this. Okay, by assuming a perfectly flat world with equal soil, one market and uniform transport, von Thunnen successfully isolated distance as the only changing factor. Okay, what is changing here? Everything is constant here. If the labor and production cost is constant, the behavior of the farmers are constant, and the route of travel is constant. Everything is constant, and the land is also constant. There is no change in the anywhere in the piece of land. Every bit of land is flat and well fertile. So what is changing? Only one thing is changing, that is distance. So here he wants to explain how the distance factor plays a role if every other things are constant. How you do experiment in a lab, what you do? You keep all the other things constant and you just change one variable to see the impact of the variable in the entire reaction. So that is what he is trying to do. He kept other factors constant here, and only one factor he kept changing, that is the distance. Okay, and another thing that is proportionate, that is the transportation, because transportation is related to distance. So now we will see the economic rent, the concept of economic rent. Okay, this is very much important. The economic rent is a measure of advantage of one piece of land. What we are trying to measure here, the advantage. We are trying to measure the advantage of one piece of land. What is the advantage of if I take a flat here? What is the advantage if I take a flat here? We are trying to measure that over another. Since all farmers receive same price at the market and production costs are also assumed to be same. What is happening here? As we assumed what? That farmers receive the same market price and the production cost is same. Only advantage one piece of land has over another is the location. So if everything else is constant, then what you are going to bother about? You are going to bother about the distance from the market. Okay, from the market. So if it's closer to the market, its locational rent is higher, and if it reduces the distance from the market, then the locational rent is lower. So see here, R refers to the locational rent. Okay, Y refers to the yield, how much crop the land produces per acre. Per acre, how much crop you are going to produce. That is the yield of the place. P means market price of the product at the city center. Suppose you are producing cow. Sorry, suppose you are producing milk. Then what is the market price? Suppose you are producing wheat. Then what is the market price? That refers to P. And C, the production cost, the seeds, the labor, the equipment, the production cost. D, distance from the city. F, freight rate, the cost of transportation for unit crop per mile. Okay, so suppose for unit crop means suppose 100 kg of wheat per 1 mile. How much the charge is? That is freight. Okay, so hope you, and another thing you should keep in mind, this formula, you know, the formula is same everywhere, but the representative letters are changed in different books. They refer different. Sometimes it is written as LR, sometimes it is written as E, sometimes this is written as P, D, this is written as P. So and this is written as T, the F is written as the T, like freight is written as transportation cost, so it is written as T. So there will be some changes in some books, so do not get worried about that. You just keep in mind the equation. What is the equation? R is equal to locational rent. What is locational rent? Here one Thunnen referred locational rent means profit. Nothing else. Only the profit after deducting. What is he done here? He deducted everything. After deducting the cost of labor, the cost of investment, the cost of transportation, after deducting it from the final product, what is your profit? That is the economic rent he is referring here. Okay, so now what is Y? Suppose Y means yield of crop, how much crop the land produces per acre. Suppose per acre you are producing 100 kgs of wheat. Okay, then what is your Y? Your Y is equal to 100. Okay, then P. So what is market price of the crop at the city center? So suppose for 1 kg of wheat, what you are getting 30 rupees in the market. The market price is 130 rupees in the city. So what you are going to, let's put the value as 30. Then see the cost, production cost of the crop. Okay, so suppose for 1 kg of wheat, suppose you are investing around 10 rupees. Okay, so this is your investment, this is the market price per kg, and this is the how much yield you are getting. Then you have to solve it, and then you have to minus it from again 100 kg. Then what is D here? Distance from the market. Suppose the distance from the market is 4 kilometer. Okay, into 4. And freight or transportation, suppose for per kilometer he is taking 100 rupees. Okay, so let's see what we are getting, the economic rent. So first of all, we'll minus this. So we are getting 20, so 2000. Okay, we got 20 here and we got 10 here. So we multiplied here, we got 2000 minus, this is 4 and this is 100. 100 into 4 into 100, we are getting 4000. Okay, so what we are getting? So 2000 minus 4000 is equal to 2000 in minus. So we are doing a loss if we are having to travel. So what we have to do? We have to reduce the distance. Okay, so we have to reduce the distance. Suppose I reduce the distance near to like 1. Okay, 1 kilometer I will have to travel. Then what will happen? Then I am going to pay 1000 for the product transportation, and then we are going to benefit 2000 minus 1000 is equal to 1000 will be our benefit. But see here, I just did a rough calculation, so you should not think that if I am producing wheat in a 4 kilometer distance, then the farmer are doing a loss. It's not like that, because the numbers what I have taken here are just my like assumptions, or you can say just random numbers. So do not think like that. I am just trying to explain you the formula. Okay, so it's like this, the formula, you have to keep it in your mind. Okay, and let's see to the what are the concentric zones. Theoretically, let's understand it again. So Now, first of all, the concentric zones of one Thunnen models are: first is the market gardening and milk production. The first ring is market gardening and milk production. Okay. Second is firewood and timber. This one. And third is crop farming without fallow, intensive agriculture. This is intensive agriculture, third ring, and crop farming with 1 year rye, 2 year barley, 3 year oats, year 4, 5, 6 pasture, and 7 year rotation. I have already explained it. This will 4, and the 5 is three field system. I have forgotten to mention this. The three field system. Three field system means what? One of the field will grow the pasture, another will grow the what you say, the cereals, and one will leave for the fallow. Like this, you are rotating the crop production, and after that season, what you will do? You will keep this land fallow, then you will keep this land fallow. You will divide your land into three. Okay, portions. This is threefold system, a traditional method to regenerate the fertility of the soil in European countries. And the last one is the livestock farming. Okay, the last one will be the livestock farming. And see, the threefold system, this is a little information about that. It is the zone of Koppel Craft. Okay, this is a German term, integrated field grass farming. Okay, this is what is the meaning of this integrated field grass farming. So the meaning of Koppel means bond or integrated. Okay, means together, and Wishcraft means farming, that field and grass and goat, the three things they do together, that is called as Craft. Okay, and where livestock naturally fertilize the fields with their droppings during the pasture year, and saving the farmers from immense manual labor. Okay, so this is one of the traditional form of agriculture to keep the land, what you say, the fertilized, fertility of the land. So I hope the rings, 4, 5 rings are clear here. And yeah, there is one important information. Van Thunnen did modification to his theory. He introduced a navigable river. He said, suppose here are the rings, okay, and here a river passes here, then what will happen? His original model transportation was done strictly by horse wagon, okay, or ox cart over open ground, meaning cost increased uniformly in all directions. The update was that the Van Thunnen introduced a navigable river following through the plain, passing directly through the central market city. He calculated that shipping goods along a river was speedier and cost only about 1/10 of the land transportation. So suppose there will be a river, then what will happen? The farmer here can also grow the milk because it is speed to reach here. They just do not need to grow milk here only. Sorry, I'm saying growing milk. It is wrong. It's not growing milk. You can say growing cattle or dairy farming. Okay, so like that. And the result is, because it was so much cheaper to farm near the river, the perfect concentric circles completely warped. The land use zones elongated along the path of the stream, creating the long bands stretch outward from the city. So suppose what he's saying, so the concentric ring will again start from here. Okay, like this, like this, like this. There will be another concentric rings. Livestock will farmed here, and it will intersect with this ring. Okay, it will intersect with this ring. As you can see, second, the modification is introducing a complex market, multiple cities. Suppose he said in the assumption there is one market along the area. Suppose a market will also be here, small market will be here. What will happen? Another ring will develop here, another ring will develop here. It will intersect. It is written like that. Van Thunnen later introduced a smaller secondary town with its own minor market place. The result, this smaller town generated its own mini rings of high intensity farming like zone 1 market gardening and dairy. This caused massive rings of primary city to break, bend and intermingle with the smaller town zones. This proved that multiple urban centers usually create complex overlapping webs of agriculture. Okay, complex and overlapping webs of agriculture. See, this is the modification number 2. So what Van Thunnen did, he did 2 modification. If there will be a river, this is the one modification, the river, and the second one is the another small market. You have to keep this thing in your mind. Okay, you might get a question, what are the 2 modifications? And see, when there are only 2 small modifications are there, the pattern, the land use pattern becomes so complex. So he was trying to show that if I am not assuming that here is only one market and only one means of transportation, then you cannot simplify the land use pattern and the importance of distance from the market. That's why you have to keep everything, every other thing simple, not changing. Only one thing is changing, that is distance. If you are changing the route of navigation, if you are changing the marketplace, then the city is becoming complex and you cannot, establish a pattern here. It will become very complex to make people understand. So, and the third one, the expansion People understand. So, and the third one, the expansionment, it is not related to the this agriculture theory, but it is important, very much, moving beyond agriculture. It is written also here. Important contribution of von Thunen. What he said that in the volume 2 of Isolated State, okay, in his book, von Thunen shifted his focus away from geography and applied his mathematics rigor to labor economics. Okay, in the volume 2, what he did, he shifted his focus from where? From geography to whom? To the labor economics. What he said, he formulated a highly controversial mathematical theory for a natural wage. What he said, he given a controversial mathematical theory expressed by algebraic formula wage is equal to A into P, where A is the value of product of labor or capital. A is the value of product of labor or capital, and P is the bare minimum subsistence cost of the labor. Okay, the concept is he was trying to prove that workers should not just be paid for survival wages, they should mathematically receive a fair share of the joint wealth they created alongside the capital. Means, suppose you are working for 8 hours and you are getting paid 350 rupees every day. Suppose you are producing, a cloth. Okay, you are working in a textile industry, and you suppose in one day you produced or you crafted like 100 pieces of shirt. Okay, 100 pieces of shirt, and in day 7 you crafted 200 pieces of shirt, but you are getting only 350 every day. So suppose you are doing something extra, suppose you are more efficient than other, then you should also get paid for that, and whatever wealth you are created, suppose what is the market price of the shirt, according to that you should get paid. It was his theory, and he considered this mathematical discovery the crowning achievement of his life, so much so that requested this formula to be carved into his tombstone. Okay, so he was very much happy that he discovered, and he thought about the labors, and he wanted to give the labors the profit they also generated for the industry. Now what we call this? We call this as incentives. I hope you have heard about this concept, that is incentives. Okay, so these are all about the von Thunen's theory, and there are some kind of criticisms are also there. Let me see what are the criticisms are there. Yeah, see, this is a very much good, slide where I will share it. If you want it, you can comment it in the comment section. And I have also a Telegram channel in the name of this Study Smart. You can follow it there. You can comment it there or in the comment section. I will share the PDF. If I will get any comment, then I will share it. See, this is the slide. This is the slide. This slide is very much helpful for you to read it and keep it in your hand to do the revisions. Okay, so let's see about the critical evaluation. First of all, what are the critical evaluation? The criticism of the theory, the end of isolated state. Obviously, there is no isolated state anymore. The world is now worldwide supply chains are there. The transportation changed. The horse-drawn wagon replaced by trains, ships, planes, refrigerator allows highly perishable milk to be shipped globally, breaking ring one. The obsolescence of wood, the wood are no more the only source of fuel. The gas, coal, electricity, means of firewood vanished. Ring 2 has entirely vanished. The imperfect optimizer. Humans are not always economic means. Farmer decision based on cultural preference. Subsidies given by the government, not pure for mathematics profit, and also complex pricing, multiple market exits, fluctuating the pricings, localized prices, and exact of same commodities. Okay, so these are the criticism, and these criticisms are also very much simple one. See, this theory is a very simple theory. The theory is not a complicated one, but there are many things you have to keep in your mind, so you need to do the revisions here. And so here we came to the end of the theory, and I have also it like a book PDF is there. You can also see here the theory, the formula is written in a different way, but the calculation is same. Okay, so if you want the PDF or the PPT, you can just comment it in the comment section, and I will give you the PDF. So thank you for watching the video. Hope you liked the class, and hope you have gained some important information, knowledge in detail about the von Thunen's agricultural locational theory. This is the one of the most detailed video you will find in the internet about the agricultural locational theory of von Thunen. Not a single bit is missed here. So, and I will also provide the PDF and everything if you comment it in the comment section. So thank you so much for watching. Give a like and definitely subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot.